A Washington Post investigation shows that black people in the United States are more than twice as likely, I should say, to be killed by police as white people. George Floyd's death is just the latest incident this year. In March, Breonna Taylor was shot 8 times by police as she lay in bed. Plainclothes officers entered her Kentucky home in the middle of the night without warning. This month, a Sudanese-American man, Yassin Mohamed, was shot dead in Georgia after several encounters with police. Advocates say he may have been suffering from mental health problems. Also in Georgia, police are accused of delaying the investigation into the killing of jogger Ahmaud Arbery because one of the suspects has links to law enforcement. I speak now to Avis Jones-DeWeaver, who's the president and CEO of Insight Unlimited. That's a consulting firm focusing on race, gender and inclusion. Joins us on Skype from Woodbridge in Virginia. Welcome to the program, ma'am. So we have these victims that I've talked about before. There's others as well. Ahmaud Arbery, as we mentioned there, Freddie Gray, Eric Garner, and more. Time and time again, this happens. And there's lots of hand-wringing afterwards, lots of promises for change, and then people walk free and the world ends up forgetting about it. And on we go until it happens again.
Yeah, and I would say the world ends up forgetting about it, but black people don't forget about it, okay? This is a constant threat that we live under in this nation, and it is very much front of mind. We understand that though we have built this nation and we've been a part of this nation for over 4 centuries, that we've never been fully given the free rights of citizenship to be able to navigate this nation using just our personal space in the same way that our white counterparts have. There is nothing that anyone can tell me that would convince me that a white man would have been choked to death in the way that this particular murder happened. And not, first of all, it wouldn't have happened. And secondly, if it were to happen, it's unimaginable that the murderers would still be free. And that's what they are, murderers.
Every time this happens, people seem to say, OK, this is going to be the moment that real change will come. That we cannot take this anymore. We cannot accept it. And all the leaders say the right things. But it doesn't happen, as we've already said. But do you think this time there could be a difference?
Right. Unfortunately, I don't think so. I have no evidence to suggest that this time will be different. You know, I look over the history of this nation, and we've been here before. We've been here dozens of times before, hundreds of times before, thousands of times before, really, to be perfectly honest. Black life clearly is cheap in America. And there is not the same level of justice associated with the murder of Black people in America than it is with others, and particularly with white people in America. And so though this is an outrage, and though people are definitely responding to the outrage with, I would argue, justifiable rage, the bottom line is I do not trust this nation to do what's right moving forward, especially since they haven't even done the bare minimum in terms of what's right with this case, and that the murderers are still walking free as I speak to you right now.
Right. Do you think that these protests, I mean, more immediately, do you think these protests in Minneapolis and now in other cities, do you think they're just going to build in momentum, they're going to continue, and then if charges are laid, will that help quell the matter?
I believe that will help, but you know, I have to tell you, I'm really quite concerned about why no charges have been raised yet. Here's one thing I know for sure, just based on pure, good old-fashioned common sense: truth can be expressed immediately, but it takes time to construct a lie. And I am concerned that the delay that's associated with bringing charges is specifically because things are being constructed to make this ultimately kabuki theater, where the charges will not hold and these people will walk free. We've seen it before. We've seen this movie before, and it's been played over and over again. And so while an arrest will be helpful, we know the script that's often run in order to justify the loss of Black life. And I believe what we're seeing all across this country in relation to this particular murder is a level of pent-up frustration and rage that says no more. And though I'd like to be optimistic that this time might be different, you know, I'm one of those people with this particular situation where I have to see it to believe it, because so often I've been disappointed that I really don't expect anything different than what's happened previously.
Avis Jones-DeWeaver, we appreciate your time and your analysis. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.